What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody?
Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday night.
Saturday night, Saturday night. If you're watching live, it doesn't matter whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the replay. Share this with somebody. If you're watching live, however, definitely share with somebody because the more people come in, the better the conversation is because this is powered by you.
Mm-hmm.
All we do is throw the topic up in the air and let folks swat at it in the comments. And so that's what we're going to do again tonight. It is Saturday night. If you're not familiar with what you're watching and you happen to stumble upon this, this is Have a Conversation After Dark. It is a show that happens almost every Saturday night at this time where we just bring topics to the table just for the sake of conversation because conversation is a catalyst for growth. Conversation is a catalyst for learning. They are often topics that I personally don't hear people talk about.
Mm-hmm.
However, they're often topics that we come across when working with our clients. There are also topics that we wished that maybe someone had talked to us about. So there's all kinds of topics that come up. Some of them are taboo, some of them taboo. You know how I feel about that word, those of you who watch this from week to week. Um, but that's what it is. It's not necessarily about giving advice, although we can't help ourselves. We're passionate about seeing relationships thrive. So you might get a piece of advice. But generally, what you're going to get is some great conversation. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what this is all about. If you read the description for tonight, you know what tonight's topic is. We'll get into that in just a second. Shout out to Darren. Darren is in the building.
What's up, Darren?
What's up, Darren? Good evening to you as well. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Darren. Darren is one of our regular folk that comes and hangs out with us on Saturday night. So we appreciate you. So listen, if you saw the topic, we're gonna jump right in. The topic for tonight is what did I call it? I don't even remember what I said.
It's called I don't know what it's called.
So the topic for man, first of all, before we do this, but while the intro music was playing, right? My wife asked me what was wrong if I was tired, and I was like, "Yeah, I got to get my energy up." Man, this getting dark at 5 o'clock is for the birds, man.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like it was 10. I feel like it was 10 p.m. 3 hours ago.
I know.
You know, I feel like it's super late at night. So yeah, let me get my energy up. So we're talking about whether your spouse can have veto power over who you hang out with, right?
I don't like that phrase,
And I,
veto power.
and that's why I chose it, because I like to choose things for shock value,
I'm so
to
tired of you
stir
saying that.
up stuff. I like to cause trouble. Those of you who watch every week, you should know that by now. You
Shock
should just be
value
ready.
is becoming annoying.
You should just be ready for me to just start trouble. Now, all jokes aside, I'm not trying to start trouble. However, what I am trying to do is get you all to have conversations, because you'd be surprised, and maybe you wouldn't. You'd be surprised how many of these issues that we've talked about every week come up in our sessions. And that's real talk.
Mm-hmm.
So many of these issues come up in our sessions. So it may sound like shock value, it may sound like I'm causing trouble, but they come up.
Yeah.
So obviously they need to be talked about, right? Darren said, right. Carrie Ann is in the building. What's up, Carrie Ann? Carrie Ann said, hey fam, I made it.
You made it.
What's up, Carrie Ann? So here's what we're talking about tonight. The title, if you saw the graphic, or if you saw the description, the title of this is "You Can't Choose My Friends." You can't choose my friends.
Mm.
So here's what we want to know. We're talking about whether your spouse has veto power over the people you hang out with. And I'm talking about whether that is an ex, whether that is, excuse me, coworkers, whether that is some friends that they feel some kind of way about or they have a
Yeah.
problem with.
Yeah.
Can your spouse tell you, hey, I don't want you hanging out with that person? Can they do that? Let us know what's happening. Let us know what's happening. Miss Humble 5, what's up? Hey, thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Welcome to have a conversation after dark. We're just going to throw topics up, right? So tonight is no different. Can your spouse have veto power over your friend choice? Can I go to Nisi and say, that girl that you talk to all the time, or that you go out to dinner with, or that you go to the nail shop with, I don't want you rocking with her no more? Can I say that? Do I have veto power?
You would have to give me a reason why not. For you to just say that, I would need a reason. Like, why? What is the reason why you don't want me hanging with this person who, she's become my good friend? We're cool. I feel like we have a rapport. I can confide in her. She confides in me.
Mm-hmm.
What's the reason? You can't just say that and not have a reason.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a question in just a second. Mrs. Humbled 5 said, absolutely
Absolutely
not.
not. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. No one is going to tell Mrs. Humbled 5 what she can do and what she cannot do as it relates to her friends. Talia is in the building. What's up, Talia? Thank you for being here.
Hey.
Appreciate that. Can your spouse have veto power over your friends? Mrs. Humbled 5 said, absolutely not. You said, if I give you a reason. So if I give you a good enough reason, I can have veto power?
Well, I look at it this way. If the reason makes sense to me,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you give me another perspective on what you see in this person,
Mm-hmm.
because you're the closest person to me, I'd probably trust you.
Okay.
And because I don't want that coming in, I wouldn't want that situation to get in between the two of us,
Mm-hmm.
because this means more to me than any other relationship.
Interesting.
I would be
Okay.
like, okay, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I see your perspective. I trust your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And in that case, I would be like, you know what? We just gonna have to leave this at work, sis. You know what I mean?
Mm, interesting.
I feel like I would do that
Okay.
because that relationship is not more important than this relationship, in
Mm,
my opinion.
okay. Cool. Darren
Yeah, my
said, I
opinion.
believe they are entitled to suggest who you are friends with. However, the spouse should allow you to think about it.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Ah, here we are. Mrs. Humbled 5 is Darren's wife.
What's
Ah,
up? She said
thank
absolutely not.
thank you for being here. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. Carrie Ann said, I think you can tell your spouse how you feel about whoever you feel skeptical about.
Mhm.
Your spouse may see something you don't, not so much veto, but something for your spouses to watch out for.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm
Okay.
talking about. Your spouse may see something that you don't.
So veto is the trigger word here.
Yes, I think so.
We have autonomy and we can have a
Reasonable
reasonable
discussion.
discussion about your
Yes.
feelings.
Hmm.
No one should have veto power over your choices, in my opinion. Okay.
No, I do agree. We do have autonomy. I agree
Hmm.
with that
Hmm.
100%. And I mean, at the end of the day, the choice will be mine
Hmm.
at the end of the day.
However, what's the however? It sounded like you had a however.
At the end of the day, the choice will be mine. So I do agree with what you're saying, sis.
Mm,
But not however, not even but. Well, maybe but. I just feel like this, like I said,
mm,
relationship is is more important for me. You know, I want us to be good.
mhm,
I don't want there to be any conflict between us
mhm,
because of another relationship or something like that
mhm,
with a girlfriend or something like that. Because at the end of the day, this
mm.
is where we're at.
Okay.
You know, that my girlfriend goes home every night
Mhm.
and got to deal with whatever she got to deal with. You
Gotcha.
know what I mean?
Okay. Yep. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. The art of going live is in the house. Just stepping in, give me a quick catch up. So here's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about the title of this is You Can't Choose My Friends.
Hmm.
You can't choose my friends.
Hmm.
The question on the table is, does your spouse, should your spouse have veto power over who you hang out with? I chose that word on purpose
Yeah.
because we'll soften it up as we go. But can your spouse have veto power? Can your spouse come to you and be like, "Listen, them dudes that you hang out with, you gotta dead that. We can't do that no
I
more."
mean, there just has to be a reason. You can't just say that, and it can't just be.
Terrence said, "Watch out now."
It can't just be. I don't want you because if you can't give me a reason,
Hmm.
then I'm feeling like well, the issue is with you.
Interesting.
Do you know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yep.
I feel like if you can't give me a reason, the issue is with you. And if that's the case, then I'm gonna need a better reason than I just don't want you
Okay. Terrence said yes. Terrence, why? Why do you say yes? Terrence
to.
says yes, your spouse should have veto power.
Mhm.
Why? Why
Mhm.
do you feel that way? And I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I just want to hear what you think about that.
Yeah.
Um, Married with benefits, yes, the reason can be as simple as I
I
don't
don't
like them.
like them. The reason could be as simple as I don't like them. It could be. It could be.
Mrs.
Mhm.
Humboldt 5 says it has to be a reason. I agree.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Is it so much? Is it
Wow.
turn that one on?
They're
It
both on.
Oh, are they?
Yes.
So here's a question I have for you, and maybe for everybody. Is it so much that they don't want? Um, is it so much that
What just happened?
I didn't turn the gestures off. So if you turn it because the gestures are on, it different things cause different things to happen. So here's the thing though. Um, Married with Benefits said, here she goes with the fan again.
Girl, you know
Two,
it. Two.
not
I wish
one.
I could show you
Two
them.
two
What
fans.
is this? I
That
don't like
that's
this.
the victory thing. So the victory sign makes balloons go up
Oh
on the
my
screen.
gosh.
I got to turn that off. I got because
This is
listen.
annoying.
So sidebar before we keep going. Sidebar. I'm in a important meeting, and I'm talking with my hands, and balloons go up on the screen. I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like this can't keep it, and I keep forgetting to turn it off. So I have to turn that off this week.
But yes, the fans. I have two of
Yes,
them on
two
actually.
fans, two fans. I think I put this up on the screen. Miss Humboldt Five said she agreed.
Yes,
It has
it
to be
has to
it
be a
has to be a reason.
reason.
Darren said, I agree. In my opinion, the
Reason
reason
must
must
be
be
reasonable.
reasonable.
Yep, I agree.
Miss Humboldt Five is laughing at you, lady. So here's the thing: is it more about the reason and how I approach you than it is about me having veto power?
Not necessarily for me.
Okay, maybe I
Not
should throw that
necessarily.
out to everybody else.
Yeah, not necessarily for me. Well, the reason, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily how you approach me.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you approach me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
I still want the reason. First, I'm gonna be like, "Why are you coming at me like that?"
I already know that.
Right.
Yeah, let's be clear.
But then, after we got that out the way, I still would need a valid reason.
Okay. Okay. Terrence said he liked Adam, love love her so much that you are willing to do virtually anything to stay in agreement. That is that to why you're saying yes?
He liked Adam.
I'm assuming he like Adam, loved her so much that you are willing to do virtually anything to stay in agreement.
I I tend to agree. I think that's what I was trying to say. I tend to agree. I
Mhm.
just want us to be cool.
That
Veto
veto.
power. It's
That's why.
making me
That's
itch.
why I said
I
it.
hate that he said
That's why I said it.
veto power. I hate that.
That's why I said it. So
Making me itch.
so I picked certain words on purpose for
Always.
these conversations. Um, so I don't mean to make you itch. That's not really the goal, but I do use them for a reason. Use the words for a reason. Terrence said yes. That's why. That's what he was saying. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Cool. So
Now, what about you? If I
I
were
was
to
just.
come
And
to
that's what I was
you,
thinking. Yeah.
here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if I were to come to you and I was like, I'm not sure about this dude. I don't think you should be hanging out with this dude because I don't know, he seems shady or
Mm-hmm.
whatever my reason was.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like even if it was a valid reason,
Mm-hmm.
you would still hang out with him.
Um. That there's a possibility. I think I would want to know. I don't know. I need to. The valid reason. I'm not going to dismiss your reason.
I
First,
don't
first
think you
off,
would
I'm not going to
dismiss it,
right.
but I think at the end of the day that you would still hang out with this person.
I think it might depend on who it is.
Mm.
I think it might.
Really?
Yeah, I think it might depend on who it is.
Mm.
Because I think I'm older now and wiser and more mature now. That if you come to me with a reason and I'm like, yeah, you know what, she is right. That I might make a difference, make a change. But if I'm like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but that's not.
That's not the case.
Yeah,
That person
that's
is not that
right,
like that. What
right.
you see
Then
or
I'm
what you
then I
think you
may I
see.
may do that. Listen, let me, as I normally do. Those of you who come every week know that I'm about to just up the ante a little bit, right? So let's say that this person that you are let's not use the word veto right now, but let's say
Mhm.
this person that we're talking about is your spouse's ex,
So I'm hanging out with my ex.
right?
Okay.
Now, do I have veto power?
Um.
Darren said right. I think he was saying right for what I just said.
Okay.
So
Um.
so I'm up in the ante, folks. We were just keeping it very general, friends, co-workers, whatever, whatever. Now, this person that your spouse is hanging out with and spending time with and on the phone with is their ex.
Yeah. I think
Is veto power in order there?
I again I think the same rule for me would apply.
Sa- Meaning you would need a reason.
No, meaning that I want us to be good. So I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm not
Oh, so
hanging
you
out
would.
with this person
Okay.
anymore. Even more so, I think.
Okay.
No, that's number one.
Hmm.
Probably number one is that I wouldn't be hanging out with my ex. So I can't even wrap my mind around that scenario.
Okay. So we're not trying to start. We're not trying to start trouble in the Pruitt household, but
No, we're not.
I do
We
want to. I
really are
do want to
not.
hear both of your sides on this, right? So, Mrs. Humboldt Five said, "Are boundaries being crossed?" So let's say no boundaries are being crossed. No boundaries are being crossed. It's just there. It's just an X, right? So let's put it there. Then Darren says, in my opinion, yes, and I'm assuming yes to veto power.
Yeah.
Married with Benefits said the answer
Answer
is
is still
still yes.
yes.
Terrence said hell yes. Now it gets interesting because Mrs. Humboldt 5 says no.
No, really? Hmm.
So I would love to hear both of your perspectives around that. One said yes, one said no. Terrence says shut it down.
I agree.
Terrence says shut it down. Okay.
I agree.
Gamal is in the house. What's up?
What's
What's
up,
up, good sir?
Gamal?
If you wouldn't want your spouse doing it, then
Then
you
you
don't
don't
do it.
do it. If
If it were
you if it would make you
uncomfortable,
uncomfortable, then
then don't
don't
do it.
do it. I agree with that.
Anselm Paul is in the house. Fam, what's good?
Hey.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thank you guys for joining. I think you heard the question. So here's where I started. Where I started was, does your spouse have veto power over who you hang out with? Friends, co-workers, you name it, that kind of thing. Do they have veto power over who you hang out with? Then I upped the ante a little bit. And if that person is their ex, now do you have veto power? Now we've gotten both sides of this. Some people say yes, some people say no.
Mhm.
My wife says she would need to have a good reason.
This is for if this is like my girlfriend
Hmm.
from a coworker or something. If it's my ex, to me, that is again, I cannot wrap my mind around the scenario of hanging out with my ex anyway. So
Right.
there's that.
You can't. Right. Right. I get that. I get why you
But
say
if I
that.
could,
Hmm.
I think that I would be like, I would understand more your apprehension,
Hmm.
even if it was unwarranted.
Okay.
And so I would be like, yeah, I'm a dead this because
Okay.
this has to be good
I appre- I
above
ap-
anything else.
I appreciate that you would do that, and I'm a catch up with these comments, but let me throw in another twist. If you are the person being vetoed,
Uh-huh. You're
right?
vetoing me because I'm hanging out with someone. Uh-huh.
Can you ignore or dismiss the veto?
You
Is that okay?
can.
Is that okay?
It's not okay.
That's not okay.
No.
Okay, hold that thought. Hold that thought. Let me get the comments. Talia said, "Does it matter if boundaries are being crossed? Should we wait until that happens?" Just wondering.
Mm,
That's a great
that's a
question.
good
That's a great
question.
question, Talia. So, no, it.
I
Yes, it does.
don't
No, no. So, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
I was gonna say I don't think it
It
matters
it
if
doesn't matter.
boundaries
It
are
doesn't.
being crossed or not.
It does matter to me. I think it does. Now, let me tell you. It, immediately when we think hanging out with our ex,
Hmm.
hanging out with your ex, when you just say those words out of your mouth, it has a negative connotation. We automatically think something,
Does.
right? So I think in that regard, it wouldn't matter because of the way we think. But if we take that off the table where our minds normally go, and I'm just hanging out with my ex, the relationship ended because we were young and dumb and we like this. We know both this ain't for us. We got other things to do. It wasn't nothing crazy. It wasn't no hell on earth or nothing like that. And
Uh-huh.
now we cool. We're older. We're more mature. I got my family. She got hers. Whatever the
Hmm.
case may be. If we're really being honest,
Hmm.
we could hang out.
If
If
we're
we're really
really
being
being
honest.
honest and that was the scenario,
Hmm.
we could hang out. However,
However.
if my spouse was uncomfortable with it, we're
Hmm.
not hanging out.
Okay. Talia said, I'm not married, but I know what I would or wouldn't
Wouldn't be
be doing.
doing.
But Vovo said no. And that was to the veto, I believe.
Mhm.
Ms. Humbled Five said, as long as everything is transparent, I would be
You're
fine
fine
with
with
it.
it. Okay.
Cool.
Yes, because if being in contact with my ex bothers my spouse, I would let it.
I would let the
I would let the
friendship go.
friendship go. Yep,
Okay.
I agree.
Carrie Ann says she's vetoing an ex. Period.
Yeah,
She's vetoing. Now, if your ex have kids with you, no. Okay.
I
So
I don't
why
think that
why
that makes a
yeah,
difference
why is that the
for
determining
me.
factor? I'm not listen, and here's the thing. Every comment is valid. I'm just curious, why is that the determining factor?
Yeah,
Why is kids a determining factor? Bavola said, Denise, is that because you and your ex were not friends? So talking about you
we're
wrapping
not
wrapping
friends.
your mind around the ex thing. That's a whole nother story. The very quick answer to that is
We're not friends or are not friends. We are not friends. So, yes, if that's what you mean.
mm. Ansem said, man, I might have veto power
For
for the
the
ex
ex
hangout thing, but I don't feel I have a reason to
to
use it.
use it.
Mm,
Hmm.
okay. Why not avoid the situation before it occurs? Listen, if you need to be safe, it is always better to be safe
Yes.
than to be sorry. Indeed.
Hmm.
Bavola said I agree with Oliver. So with the X thing, right? Without going into a lot of detail, although our excuse me, our story has been told. So that was not a great situation.
No.
Let's just leave it at that. That was not a great situation. So there would be absolutely no chance of that scenario happening in our case, just because of what transpired. So uh, Talia said, if we're being honest, I agree. Yeah. Yeah. Yes to transparency. I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah.
Married with Benefits said, because kids, you have to have involvement. No kids, you have no reason to be hanging out
No,
with.
no, I totally understand. With kids, you definitely have involvement,
Mhm.
but that doesn't mean I have to hang out with my ex just because we
Okay.
have kids.
Agree. I agree with that.
Definitely there's
I
involvement,
agree
or
with that.
there should be to whatever extent, if it's, safe and all of that whole different story. But to hang out with them,
Mhm.
I think that's where I would draw the line. I don't have to hang out with my ex just because we have children together.
So okay, so that sends us kind of down uh, a different part of the road, right?
Okay.
Let's say, and let me throw this out to the group. Let's say we see how you feel about the veto power and hanging out, who should hang out and what. Let's say that everything is well and good.
Hmm.
You can hang out with your ex. You can hang out with whoever. Let me get Gamal's question real quick. Um, what do we mean by hanging out? So just hang on for a second. Hang on for a second, Gamal. Um, Carrie Ann said, I agree with Denise.
Hmm.
Okay. Hanging out with them, but you have to stay in
You
communication
should
when you
have
have kids
kids
involved.
involved.
Yes, you do have to stay in communication.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
so Gamal is kind of going
Going down
where
where
I
we
was
go.
just about to go.
Yes.
Let's say everything is kosher, everything is cool. No veto power. She's hanging out with her ex or her girlfriends at work or whoever, or whatever the case may be. No veto power on the table at all. Let's talk about the ex in particular. If it is okay, let's pretend that it is okay
Hmm.
and there's no issue.
Hmm.
How much is too much and how far is too far?
Yeah. I think it depends. Go ahead.
I was going to give an example.
Go ahead. Give an example.
Can I go to dinner with my ex? Is that too far? Can we go to the movies? Can what how much is too much and how much is too far?
For me,
How
that
far is too far?
for me, for me, that's if it's just the two of us,
Hmm.
we don't need to be doing that.
You don't need to be
You're
going to
my
dinner.
ex for a reason. No.
Okay. So what
For
can you
me,
so what can you do?
I just don't think I can't think of anything that we could do.
Okay.
Maybe if the kids were with us and we were taking them somewhere together, that's a stretch. But I I can't think of anything else
Okay.
because
Can't
I'm
go on
not hanging.
vacation.
No, absolutely not.
That's too
No,
far.
no,
Vacation is too far. So we
I'm
can't pull
not.
a Will Smith because
Well,
Will be going on vacation with his ex.
yeah, but not by himself. The families go.
So if the families, so if me, you, and the kids and your ex and their family, we could go on a vacation together.
I wouldn't want to do that, but I would be more accepting of that over just the two of us
Okay.
or me and my ex
Okay.
alone somewhere.
Okay.
I I'm not doing none of that, but if it were to be anything, I could see how my family and my ex's family, we all get together and go somewhere. I could see
Okay.
I ain't doing that, but I could see how people do that.
Damian Chandler's in the building. What's good, fam?
Hi.
Said keep it simple. Nothing.
I know that's right.
Let's just wrap it up
Just wrap it up.
and call it nothing.
Nothing.
Let's
I'm
call it
not
nothing.
I can't think of a scenario that I'm not I don't want to do nothing with my ex.
Okay.
Whether we were on good terms or not.
Interesting. Okay.
Because to me, my ex is an ex for a reason. Why am I trying to hang out with my ex?
So let's take the X off the table. And you guys can still comment on the X piece, but let's broaden the scope. Girlfriends, guy friends. How is there a too much and a too far? Like,
Like
is there anything that's too much? Like, sometimes I'll give you an example. Let me get Talia's comment. I'm gonna give you an example. There's only one ex I'd see, and I would be meeting for dinner with him and his family to catch up. Haven't seen him since we were in college. Now he's married with kids. Haven't met them or his wife. Would be nice to see them all. Okay. So let me catch up on the comments and I'll say what I was going to say. Damien said outside of maybe a gathering with other people, and we
that's
talked
what I
about that
asked
before. We talked about that before we got on
before
camera.
we got on camera.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So in a group setting, got you. Intimate situations are too far. Is I know
So,
the answer to this question, but I'm assuming you're referring to dinner being an
like
intimate
one on
situation.
one is
Right.
intimate.
Right. Okay. Intimate
Yeah.
situations are too far. I would not want to put myself in that position to be with an ex alone. No,
No.
I
Would not
would not
want to
want to
do
do
that.
that. It would
It
not
would
be
not be
safe.
safe.
Okay.
See,
Fair
now
enough.
go ahead, get the other
Fair enough.
comments, but I I'm curious as to what people think about what Damien said because about the group setting. That's what I had
Okay.
talked about before we got on camera and I was like, what about a group setting?
Mhm.
Like is that too far?
Give me an example of a group setting.
The examples that I gave you, like we were a group of people were going to an event
Okay.
or a concert or even a church prayer group or something like that where it's a
Okay.
group of people and not just one-on-one type thing.
Right.
Would it make a difference?
I feel like it would make a difference. I mean, I think some people are going to be, and hear me when I say this. I'm not saying this is everybody, but I'm saying some people will be less. Some spouses will be less threatened by that.
So is that the issue
I
that
don't.
they feel
Well, I don't
threatened?
know. I don't know. Let's see.
I just feel
So
like your ex is your ex for a reason.
yeah, I agree with that, but it's not always a terrible reason. Too much would be taken away from the family time. Darren says. Bovo said, like Talia's comment, a group setting is okay. Terrence
Mhm.
said, yes, Miss
Yes,
Humble Five. Okay. A group setting like going out together would be okay if all parties
felt
felt comfortable.
comfortable.
So let's say, right? Again, because I'm gonna say what I said earlier. Fired some
Sorry,
pray for
fire
the folk.
truck.
That's whatever's going on there. I'm gonna say what I said earlier. Generally, when we think about anything dealing with an ex,
Hmm.
we immediately go left.
Hmm.
We immediately go to something that may have gone awry. Yes, they're in an ex for a reason, but sometimes relationships end
Because you're just like, you know what? This is
because it's
not.
just time for it to
It's
end.
time for it to end. We're cool. We're good.
Right.
You're not mad at me. I'm not mad at you. But this relationship is not gonna work
Right. Gamal said, honestly, I see a third party as harmful to
to
my
my
relationship
relationship.
if they aren't an advocate for our relationship. If your friends aren't supportive of
Supportive.
my marriage, they will help to erode the foundations. That's not helpful. I think anything or anyone who isn't helpful for the relationship should
Should
be
be
avoided.
avoided.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
I agree with that. This happens all the time in places like Huntsville, where people went to school there, stayed there, and go to the same church. Can't
Yeah.
always escape being in the same place or having
Similar
similar
friend
friends.
groups.
I agree with that,
That's
bro.
very true.
I
That's
agree with that.
very true.
I agree with that. We got true, got agree in the comments. I agree
Yeah.
with that. And that's a great example.
Huntsville.
That's a great example because in Adventism, if you dated somebody at Oakwood and you didn't marry them and you married somebody else
Mhm.
and they all know each other and
Yeah.
you all run in the same circles, you're going to always be in the same circles.
And that's not uncommon.
That's not uncommon.
It's not
If you
uncommon.
went to Andrews and you dated somebody different and then you marry somebody different,
Wow.
you might run into some folk.
You really did. I mean, that's our story.
That's our story.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's our story.
so I get that. I get that. So hence why you should say no. Yeah. Adventism is very inbred.
It is. It really is.
Not gonna touch that. But I agree.
You touched it.
I agree. I agree. So there's kind of a mixed consensus around what would happen.
Yeah.
So now here's the question you asked me that I did not answer. Well, I did kind of answer
What?
actually. You asked me how would I feel if you came to me about somebody.
Yes. How would you feel? Let's go with this scenario first. How would you feel if?
That's where I was going. I'm glad somebody said that. I'm going there next.
Can I finish?
Yeah.
Okay. How would you feel if I had this girlfriend at work? We were real cool. And, I just wanted to hang out with her. We were cool.
Mm-hmm.
We bonded. We had this connection. We talk about the ups and downs of our marriages. She confides in me, I confide in her. The trust is there. It's been proven. We're just good. We're cool. She,
Mm-hmm.
ends up being my girlfriend. And we're like, you know what? Let's do this girls' spa weekend or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel about that?
I'm good with that. I think where it becomes an issue for me is based on what Kamal said earlier. If I feel like there is something that is going to be detrimental, or I feel like somehow you acting different because she feeding you some nonsense,
Mm.
then
Or you see something that I don't see.
right, then we're gonna have a conversation. But have fun. Do you
Now,
do,
what if you came to me with your concerns
mm-hmm.
and I still was like, I'm still gonna hang out? How?
Then I would continue to point out the instances
What you
as they
see?
happen.
Okay. Okay.
Like, you know what? Hey, you see how you just answered me the way you answered me just
Mhm.
now? You've never done that before.
Mhm.
And I seen her do that with her man the other day.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
We can't do that.
Oh, agreed.
We gotta stop that.
Agreed. I want you to get to that comment because I have another question.
So this is where those who know me and know the show know that I hate to use the word controversy because I don't want people arguing over this stuff. But I love to give other views, right?
Where is it?
Bavobo said, I really think this is an
Insecurity
insecurity issue.
I agree.
The words were snatched out of my brain because
I
that's where I
can
was going next.
I can see how you would say that. I honestly think that it could be that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think too though that there's a possibility that you might be seeing something that I don't see.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
But I
I agree
100%
with that.
agree that it could definitely be an insecurity issue.
And that's not going to be in every case, but I do believe that in some cases,
Yeah.
it is merely, hey, I'm just not really, I don't have the capacity to handle you being around that person.
What if it was Go ahead.
Go ahead.
What if it was my ex? Maybe not that ex, but an ex that you know that.
So, me personally, I'm going to have some reservation around you hanging out with an ex.
Mhm.
Now, And to speak to Bavobo, it's going to be a combination of me protecting you
Mm,
and me having some level of insecurity. If I'm really going to be honest, like
mhm,
100% honest, because I know guys.
mm.
And you remember we heard that the thing where the guy was like, a person will hang out with you for 7 years just looking for an opening.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know guys. I was one of those guys who
Mhm,
hung around looking for an opening. So
mhm,
because I know I was one of those guys, justly or unjustly,
mhm.
I'm going to project that onto that friendship.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just be honest. But I think a lot of people don't necessarily want to come out and say that
You're right.
because that's not a good look for a man. Like
Yeah.
I can't really be like, "Oh, I'm worried about what's going to happen." When in essence that's really what I am.
Yeah.
But we don't always say that, right? We don't
Now,
always say that.
what if the apprehension that I have about you hanging out with this dude that you met?
Mhm.
Y'all are real cool. Same thing like if I met someone at work. You did the same thing. Y'all are real cool. You connected.
Mhm.
You're able to bond. There's those things again, those gestures.
Yeah, I'll turn
Um,
it off.
what if I didn't tell you right away, but I ended up telling you the reason why I don't want you hanging out with this person is because he's my ex. That's someone I used to date.
Oh, that's a good one. That's hold on to that for a second. That's different scenario.
Yeah.
Hold on to that for a second. Let me catch up in the comments. It's a safety issue more than insecurity. If you're hanging out with someone and it's causing
Issues
issues
with
with our
our
relationship, I agree
relationship.
with that. I agree with that. Majority of it is insecurities. Jeff said, "What's up, Jeff? Thanks
Hey
for being
Jeff.
here." Bavola said, "Appreciate your truth." Gamal said, "When you and your spouse disagree, does the person help or hurt?
Mm,
Are they a good influence or not?
mm.
Can they come between you in any way? Is this friend an advocate or an opponent of your marriage?"
Yeah.
Great questions.
Yep.
Are or are they just
Ambivalent towards your marriage.
Yep, marriage is hard enough as it is. Devil doesn't need any help.
I know that's
Agree,
right.
100%,
Yep.
100%. And those are
Yep.
great questions to ask
Yes. Yes.
in the veto. I'm using that for shock value process.
Yes.
That's
That's
good.
good.
That's good.
Very good.
That's good. Jeff says, right, no lie detected. Uh, Damien said, love the honesty. I was one of those guys. Yes, I was 100%. Do y'all think that this answer would be different for you?
Different if
Different if
you
you poll
poll
men and
men
women?
and women.
Yes, I
Yes.
do.
I
With
agree too.
without a doubt.
Yeah, I think so.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yep. I think it would be different. The plot thickens. Plot always thickens over here. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Listen, it's so
It
thick.
it always thickens. Always. 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 Hey
What's
family.
up, Jeff?
What's going on? Uh True,
Hmm.
Gamal. Hanging out with an ex
Would
would
cause your
cause your
spouse to
spouse to become
become
jealous.
jealous. Good.
So here's
Good.
the thing. You asked me if I was hanging out with your ex. Is that
Yes.
what you asked me?
Yes. If you found at first I was like, I don't think you should hang out with this person. I don't know. But I didn't come up front and say it, but
So I'm hanging out with him, but did not know he was an ex.
correct.
Wow.
But then you found out he was an ex. How would you feel? Would you still hang out with him? Would you be upset with me that I wasn't upfront initially and told you why I didn't want you hanging out with him?
No, I wouldn't be upset with you at all. But I would really wonder why he never mentioned that.
But maybe he doesn't know that I'm the one you're married to.
Okay, so
Let's go that
so,
route
so we'll go that
first.
route. So he doesn't know that you are
Your
is what
wife.
connects us.
Correct.
Okay.
What if he doesn't know? He knows you're married, but he doesn't know you're married to me.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It did. It did take a turn. And I'm stuck. I don't know. I don't know. I'm stuck. I'm
Who said
stuck.
that?
uh,
I don't see it.
Darren said that. Uh, Nardi is in the building.
Nordia,
What's up?
what's up, sis?
Thank you for being here. What's happening? Uh, Darren said that took a
That
turn.
took a
Yeah,
turn.
yeah, bro. I gotta think about that for a second. I gotta think about that. Oh, wait a minute. Been there.
Been there.
I'd love to hear more.
Mm,
Been there.
tell
Hmm.
us more.
So Married with Benefits said,
very
very
much
much
upset
upset.
with her
Hmm.
because I wasn't upfront in the beginning. I feel like I would be too if the roles were switched
Hmm.
and you told me not to hang out with this person, but you weren't upfront until further on down the road and said, "I used to date that girl." I'd be upset like, "Why didn't you tell me this in the beginning?"
Why does it matter?
Because then I would understand why you wouldn't want me hanging out with this person.
Hmm.
Whereas
Okay.
before I'm like, "What is the deal? Why
Hmm.
what is your issue with me hanging out with this person?" And you're just like, I don't trust this person, or I don't know, it's just I don't feel like you should, and you're not really forthcoming
Hmm. Hmm.
until further on down the road. I would have been like, "Well, why didn't you just tell me that before? I could have deaded this a long time ago."
Interesting. Miss Humbled Five said, for me, everything boils down to transparency and predetermined boundaries.
Mhm. It's true.
Why is the issue with exes? Are we assuming there was a sexual relationship? What if there wasn't a
A
sexual
sexual
relationship with
relationship.
said ex? Does that make a difference? That
Question.
is a good question.
I don't know. I don't, for me, I don't think I could see why it would make a difference, but
Hmm.
for me it doesn't make a difference because again, my ex is an ex for a reason.
I think it absolutely makes a difference.
Do you?
However, we automatically go that route.
That there was a sexual
So
relationship
Gamal said, I feel most of the issues are somehow linked
linked to
to
sex.
sex.
Mm.
Vogel said, here we go. Now we got trust issue. Yeah, that it could lead to
It
that.
still
Yes, it
does,
still does. Even
even
if
if
sex
sex wasn't
wasn't involved,
involved.
it's
It's
an
an
intimate
intimate
thing.
thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So the last scenario you just posed is that's an interesting one
Mhm.
because I don't know. I'm not sure I would be upset with you for
Mhm.
not saying. I would need to know why you didn't say anything.
Mhm.
I
Maybe I
definitely would
just
need to know why you didn't
was
say anything.
uncomfortable or apprehensive about saying it for
And and then like you said he doesn't know that I have a wife who is happens to be his ex.
yeah.
That's a different scenario than if he were to know.
Now, if he were to
If he were to
know,
know, we have a problem.
I agree with that.
We have
Yeah,
a problem.
because why are you trying to get so close to
And
me?
here's the thing: before I come to you, I'm going to him.
Mm. What would you
I may
say?
come back to you. You
Yeah,
may
I'm
come.
not off the hook.
Yeah, it's there's gonna be a follow up conversation that's gonna involve you, but I'm going to him first
What would
because
you
I'm be
say to
like,
him?
I don't know, but I'm be like, yo, like you could have told me that in the beginning. Like that should have been like, hey, listen, fam. I know we, we spend a lot of time at work together. Whatever it is, we playing ball. Whatever. Listen, I just need you to know, da 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 da, a b b b, blah blah blah. Right?
So, you guys are like you run ball together. You meet this person and he says to you, "Oh, you're married to Denise. I
Hmm.
used to date her." Do you still run ball with him?
Yeah, yeah. I'm not threatened by nobody. I'm not
Excuse
threatened by
me.
nobody.
Okay, but
Now,
I
and
mean,
I'm not saying that in an arrogant way. I'm just saying I'm not going to proactively put up defenses where no defense is necessary.
mhm,
Now, if if dude is being inappropriate and I see your phone ping at 3 in the morning and it's him, then yeah, we're gonna
definite
talk about
problem,
some things the next
regardless
time
if
we
that's an
right.
ex or not.
The next time we get on the court, we're gonna have a nice conversation. But
A
in the
nice
beginning,
conversation.
I whatever. Just just let me know what's what in the beginning,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Charlie said, I also agree with whoever said it's an issue of intimacy.
Intimacy.
Bavobo's laughing at me. I love it. I love it. Stevie Burke, Big Bro is in the house. Foundation is not set with assumptions, but with expectations.
Expectations. This is true. This is
Mm,
true, Stevie. This is
okay.
true.
Hello, fam. Joining late. Sounds like
Hey,
I missed a lot.
Tab.
Check the replay. So here's what we're talking about, Tab. It kind of mushroomed, but here, I'll tell you where
Yeah.
we started. Where we started was, does your spouse have veto power over who you hang with? Can they choose your friends? The title is You Can't Choose
Mm,
My Friends.
yeah.
It mushroomed into some other things. It mushroomed into exes, mushroomed into a couple other things, but that's where we started out. Clearly, he or she have an agenda.
That's what I.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It, so I might agree with that if he knew that if he knew he was hanging
That
out
I
with the
am the
guy,
wife.
right, that is married to his ex and never said anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna wonder what's up with that. My wife and I have a rule: even if we're at an event and someone you dated, slept with, etc., we let the other know.
Okay.
I'm down with the transparency,
Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
Down with the transparency,
Hmm.
100%. I think they help set boundaries with friendships. Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
So listen, that's good, man. This is good. So for those of you who are new to this, we try to stay away from giving advice on
Yeah.
Saturday nights
Yeah.
because the whole goal of it is really just to spark the conversation. Because I'm gonna tell you, and for those of you who come every week, you've heard us say this. A lot of these conversations come out of sessions we have with our clients.
Hmm.
So we come out of these sessions like clearly enough people aren't having these conversations.
Conversations. Correct.
And so we just come throw something up in the air and let everybody take a swing at it. But here's the goal. The goal is that you should be having conversations with the people around you, with your
Yes.
significant others,
Hmm.
with with your spouses, right? You should be having these conversations, and that's the whole goal of us throwing these topics up in the air so that you can have some conversations. Man, shout out to everybody in the comments. We getting out of here in a couple minutes, but this was good, man.
Good
This was good.
conversation. Good
This
conversation.
this helps. Uh, this gives me something to think about.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm just saying, just give me something to think about because just hearing everybody's perspective, right? And Stevie, I see what you said in the comments. I was coming to you with that as well because I agree with that, right? Darren said that's something you would lead to talk
Lead
about,
with
lead with. Yes,
being
yes,
involved with my spouse.
Darren,
Yes.
without a doubt, bro,
Yes. Yep.
without a doubt. You got to start with that, fam.
Yeah.
Like that it can't be like 2-3 weeks in and I'm just finding that out.
Mm-mm.
Like, yeah, start with that so we can make some decisions. You know, this was good. Thank you for being here. Yes, bro. Thus, it is worth talking about. It is worth talk. I'm telling
Is
you,
it? Is it worth
it.
talking
Yes,
about?
it is. It is worth talking about because we see this kind of stuff pop up, man. So I tell clients all the time, and many of you have heard me say this. I tell clients all the time in the discovery call, what I do not want to be is a referee in these sessions.
Yes.
Now we may
Yeah, we're not
start
doing that.
right. We may start out, kind of navigating some things in the beginning, but I'm not going to go through session after session after session, just sitting here breaking y'all up.
Not doing that.
That's not going to happen because
Not
that's a
doing that.
waste of your time and mine.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, there's always going to be a session at least where some foolishness breaks out.
I wouldn't say always. Not
Not always,
always.
but often enough. Often
Mm,
enough. More often than I would appreciate.
mm.
And it's always over stuff like
Like
this.
this. Yeah. If stuff does get heated, it is
Believe it or
typically
not,
about
it's
stuff like
always like
this.
over stuff like this. So great topic. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here and being a part of the comments as well. Gamal said, honestly, I have honestly, do I have friends or do we
We have
have friends?
friends. Even
Even
if
if
we
we
aren't all spending time together, there should be a friendship space where my wife, should there be a friendship space where my wife is not welcome?
the answer to that question is no.
Nope.
Now,
Shouldn't be.
now,
Shouldn't be.
now here is the very slim caveat of that. Is it okay for you to have some spaces that help you in one way or another? You got some guy friends you hang out with
Like a
and
growth area.
you go out to eat, or you go, bowling, or you do whatever, yes, that's fine. Now, that doesn't mean that your wife is not welcome, but those spaces are designated for a
Necessary.
reason,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's the other side of that.
Yeah.
The answer to that question is no. There should
Right.
be no space where your spouse is not welcome.
Not
That's a
welcome.
problem.
Correct.
If your spouse is not welcome,
Right.
that's a problem. Now, can there be spaces where, hey, this is the girls' time, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna unwind, we're gonna girl talk? Yeah, do your thing.
Definitely. Definitely.
Do your thing. It's cool. All good. All good. Uh, I agree with Darren.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Let me finish up these comments, and then we'll let y'all go up on the rest of your Saturday night. Yes, talking with your spouse helps to understand and build awareness of feelings. Indeed,
Mhm.
without a doubt. Yes,
I was pitching
pitching our
our
future event.
future event.
So
Right.
listen, so those of you who are in, and since you said that, let me just throw this out there real quick. Those of you who are in the Maryland, DC, Virginia area in December, I think it's the first Saturday in December, December 2nd. This is my big bro, Reverend Stevie Burke, at Christian Life Center in Manassas. We are going to be guests there on Saturday, December 2nd, um, under the title, Is It Worth
Is it worth
Talking
talking
About?
about?
And we're going to dig into some topics live. So
Mhm.
think After Dark live.
Yeah.
Just
Think this
think,
live.
yeah, think, just to give you a concept of what will go down. So if you are in that area, more information will be coming soon. A flyer will be up soon about that. So if you're in the area, or you close enough to travel to that, um, come on out and hang out with us. It's going to be some great conversation, hanging out with Stevie and the CLC family. Uh, yep, the past will do that.
Mhm.
Darren said no. Those are comments from earlier.
Yeah.
Definitely, my wife is welcome wherever I am.
Mhm.
That's dope. Friday after dark.
Friday after
Is it?
dark.
Is it a Friday? Is December 2nd a Friday? It's whatever the first Saturday is. It might not be the second. It's
It's
whatever
a
the first.
Saturday.
Okay, December 2nd. So it actually will be a Saturday, but it'll be Saturday in the light, because it's going to be during the daytime. That was corny. All right, that means it's time to go. That's the cue. That's the cue.
What in the
That's good. I
world?
already feel like it's 3 in the morning, man.
Oh
I
my
felt like it was,
gosh.
yeah. This time thing is nuts, man. It's going dark. It's crazy. All right, listen, fam. We appreciate you. Much love to everybody that was in the comments, man. It's so dope to have you guys as a part of this. You all make this
Make the
Saturday night
show.
conversation what it is, right? So thank you so much for being a part of that. And again, I say this in the beginning, I say it in the end. The whole goal of this is to get you talking.
Yeah.
Conversation is a catalyst for growth. Conversation is a catalyst for learning. Conversation is a catalyst for you strengthening your bond.
Yeah.
There's so much that we learn about each other just by having conversation and laughing and joking and be like, what? That's what you think?
Yeah.
What? Where? That, and that's how we learn so much about each other.
Yeah.
And it helps to strengthen the bond. It helps to grow us, helps to get us talking, helps us to learn each other.
Yeah.
So we encourage you to have a conversation. Listen, have a fantastic rest of your Saturday night and rest of your weekend. And we will see you next
Next
week.
week.
Blessings on you, family.
Good night.
Appreciate you.